Welcome to our CME presentation, the child psychiatry for the primary care provider, Grand Rounds. We're so happy to have all of you. And today we have Hannah Garza, one of our LPCs, is going to be presenting. Hannah is a full-time employee with us at Texas Tech, Department of Psychiatry, and she works on both, all of us really work on both the CPAN project, but also TChat, which is a project we have through the school. So that's another resource to know about. If you could talk to us about what school your patients go to, and we can even do telemedicine consultations with the patient directly. Whereas CPAN is a curbside consultation. So Hannah has a lot of experience. She worked at the Psych Center for many years. And I hope they're not mad at us that we stole her away. And she's currently working on her PhD in psychology. I think she's almost done. Having her dissertation is about first responders and response to traumas, right?
Yes.
And Hannah is a wonderful employee, a wonderful counselor, and she's very, very resourceful. So she's sharing this resources with you today. And remember to stay logged in so you can get your credit. You have to be logged in for the majority of the time.
Thank you.
And questions, any questions, go into the chat us any questions. And then I think we even have a way to open it up so you can talk to us at the end. So it's not so formal, but with that, Hannah, take it away.
Yay. Thank you, Dr. Martin. You're way too kind. Good afternoon. I almost said good morning. It's 12 o'clock here in El Paso. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Hannah. I will be your presenter today. I will be presenting on managing anger during the pandemic. I have a lot of experience in mental health field. I have worked in inpatient and outpatient settings, and hopefully soon we'll be defending my dissertation in late spring, early summer. I can't wait. It's been a long journey, so I'm ready to finish it and move forward. But thank you so much for being here with us today. I'm going to talk about managing anger during the pandemic, and I think this is a very, very relevant topic because we've been in this pandemic since March, and everyone got affected by it, at least in certain ways. So I think this topic is something that I hope this topic is something that would be helpful to you, and that you can take something from it, not only for you, but also for people that you serve in our community and other communities. I just wanted to briefly mention the Cme procedures. If you, to claim a Cme, you must be logged in with your full name and stay for the duration of the training. And if you're using if you're a call-in user, please make sure that you email the CME info@ttuhsc.edu to claim your CME. And it usually takes up to roughly maybe 10 days, maybe 2 weeks to get your CME from us. So please make sure that you enter either your full name or email us to let us know that so we can send you your CME. So I'm going to start with really discussing first what anger is. And anger is one of the most common, misunderstood, and overused human emotions. And it's really an emotion. It's not a feeling. And the difference between those two is huge. Emotion is something that is very situational, while feelings are based on a lot of experience and a lot of build-up experiences in the past. And some of the examples that I can provide today would be, for example, you're driving on I-10, and you're driving and you're tuning along and you're in a good mood, and then someone cuts you off, and you feel really, really angry, and you feel tensed, and you almost got into an accident, and you keep driving and maybe shaking, and you have so many different things going through your mind. So that's an emotion. That is something that happens and it pops up and it impacts you. But then as you go through your day and as you continue living your life, driving home, cooking dinner, doing different things at home with your children, with your families, with your animals, your emotions kind of settle a little bit like dust. It pops up and then it kind of settles down. So you no longer feel the same way. So that is what emotion is, something very much situationally driven. Or sometimes for those of you who have kiddos, sometimes if you get a phone call from school telling you that your kid did not submit some kind of assignment, so of course it's like, what do I do? And you feel maybe, certain emotions going. But as you're going through your day, you feel it's kind of settles a little bit. You get the problem resolved, you move forward, you get preoccupied with other things. So you no longer really remember about the situation and it does not impact you as much. While feelings are very, very different. Feelings are something that stays with you for good. Feelings are something that are based on certain experiences that we have with people. For example, feeling like love. It's not something that we tell to every single person. We share certain experiences with people before we can actually say, I love you or I have certain feelings for you. So that is a big difference between feelings and emotions. Emotions are very much situationally driven, while feelings are very much based on experiences that we have with people and certain experiences that build up to get to that feeling. Anger is an energy. It's really an energy because it serves a certain purpose and it allows people to cope with different situations. When people respond in certain ways, when they react to certain situations, and when anger comes up, that is an energy that we're discharging, energy that we're sharing with other people, and we're letting other people know that this is something that we might not like or impacted us in certain way, that we're responding this way to certain situations. So anger is kind of like a signal. It's a signal and that allows us to discharge that energy and to let other people around us know that, hey, I'm feeling this way. Something is happening. Something that I just received really did not settle well with me. So that's why we're feeling the way, or we're responding the way we're responding. And that's why anger comes up. So it's an energy. It's an energy we're discharging, and it's also a signal that allows other people know that we're a little grouchy today, and we're just not feeling as good as we normally would feel. So it's a signal that warns everyone around us that something is not right. Like for example, when we're driving, and I love to use driving examples, when we're driving and we get a red light, that's an indication that we have to stop. That means that we have to stop. We have to wait until the green light comes up, and then we can drive after that. So it's a signal. And anger actually helps discharge a lot of tension and build up frustration. Because as we go through days, we see our patients, we deal with different people, we deal with different situations. We sometimes we build up certain frustration and sometimes we feel a certain way. So anger is an indicator, and as we discharge anger in a positive and healthy way, we are able to release that energy and move forward and not hold it in. But sometimes when people hold that frustration, and when frustration builds up day after day, hour after hour, week after week, sometimes we develop certain problems, certain conditions, even if we continue building up that anger. So anger is not necessarily a bad or negative emotion. It's something that helps us discharge energy, helps us warn other people that we're feeling a certain way, that something is happening, and we might not be perceiving things in a certain way, or we're perceiving things where it does not settle with our energy well. So it's an energy and it's a signal. I'm learning to skip from one slide to another. Please bear with me. So some of the causes and types of anger that I wanted to discuss today is anger is something that is learned. It's a learned emotion. It's something that we learn from other people that we observe and we see. So we learn anger by observing other people, by observing our family members, our friends, people that we communicate with every single day. So when the small baby, for example, is surrounded by people who have different types of energy and different types of reactions and different types of emotions, they learn from family members and friends and other people around them. So anger is something learned. Children are not born with anger. They observe other people, respond in certain ways, and then they learn that and they adopt that, they process that, and they discharge their own energy. They able to process that and give it to the world by responding in a certain way. And that is something that I learned from family members, from friends. And there's many types of anger, but two types of anger that I wanted to cover today are physical and verbal anger. Verbal anger is something when individuals are screaming, when they're yelling, when they insulting other people, when they're shouting, when they expressing their emotions verbally without any kind of physical contact. So as they screaming, as they yelling, as they maybe raising their voice, they saying certain words, that is a verbal response. That is a verbal type of anger. While physical type of anger is more of a physical contact. For that, it means individuals who discharge anger, who show anger in a physical way, they pushing other people, they might be shoving them, hitting, biting, slapping, punching, and reactions and responses of that nature. So physical responses are more of when someone has physical contact with another person, with another human being or another living being. So by pushing, shoving, punching, that is a physical response to anger. While verbal response is more about using your words and screaming and yelling and only not using any physical contact. COVID-19, and I think COVID-19 impacted everyone in different ways. I think all people responded to COVID-19 in a different way and cope with COVID in a different way. So day-to-day life during COVID-19 really can be overwhelming. For some people and for most people, it can really cause a lot of stress. It can really cause a lot of anxiety. It can cause a lot of fear, not only in adults, but also in children, because transition that happen, especially with children, transition from being in the classroom full-time in person and then learning online, it was a very rough transition for a lot of people. A lot of adults had to transition working from home, and for children, it was something that caused a lot of stress and was a very overwhelming for a lot of individuals. And learning online and attending all of the classes online and not being able to have that physical contact, that caused a lot of stress for a lot of individuals, including small children and adolescents. So everyone really responds to stressful situations in a different way. So how a person responds to outbreak can depend on many different factors. And those factors can include the background, personality types, family support, and other things, medical history, and other things that involve the responses and how people cope with COVID-19. So one way and one way that I try to teach my patients that I'm working with, and even sometimes with certain adults that I meet and I interact, one thing of managing stress and anxiety is actually changing their mindset. And the way mindset can be changed is starting with very small steps. Because in order for us to really make certain adjustments and be able to adapt to things that are happening in the world, we would have to make very, very small steps and really slowly adopt certain new strategies to be able to stick with them and to be able to implement them in day-to-day life. And so instead of really using words like I am doomed, I'm stuck at home, there's nothing positive around, I cannot go anywhere, to really adopting the mindset that this is not permanent. It's temporary. And it too shall pass. It definitely will end someday. Unfortunately, we don't have a date where we can say, yes, pandemic going to be over by January 31st or, February 1st of 2021. But it is definitely not a permanent situation. It's something that is very, very temporary in changing mindset from I'm stuck and I'm doomed and nothing is good happening around me, really changing mindset to this is temporary and it will end at some point. It will end someday. So starting with very, very small things like that, it will start making dents and helping people cope and helping children cope with a situation that we're in right now. And staying at home in really, really close quarters for extended period of times, working from home, going to school from home, and doing a lot of different things at home without getting out with all of the restrictions that we have and we experience. We've been very, very close, staying in close for extended period of time, staying in close quarters to with other family members and maybe roommates, children. It can be very, very difficult sometimes because some of the outlets that were used before, like maybe going out and going to the restaurants and doing different things, those outlets are no longer available. So it's very, very easy to feel overwhelmed. It's very, very easy to feel stressed. It's very easy to lose temper. So one of the things that, or some of the things that I want to mention, really managing your emotions during this pandemic, is walking away from heated discussions and not allowing frustration to turn into aggravation and then lead to anger and anger outbursts. And it's not necessarily going somewhere or driving away, just going maybe to your bedroom where you can get some privacy, going to your bathroom where you can just take a deep breath and maybe sit down on the floor and take a couple of deep breaths and meditate and maybe just disconnect for a few minutes from some of the things that are happening in the house, just getting away from that situation. So going to the bedroom, going to the bathroom, going outside to the backyard, to the front yard, or to the patio can make a huge difference because you're walking away from the heated discussion and not allowing some aggravation turn into something much, much bigger. So walking away to the patio, walking away to your bathroom will make a change, will definitely help you decompress and then come back to the situation and deal with that with a different mindset. Going for a walk or jog in the morning or even evening, it helps tremendously because exercise helps reduce stress in so many different ways. And I know right now and earlier in summer, it was very, very hot during the day. So the best way to go and really try to exercise or go for a jog or go for a walk would be in the morning or in the evening. Now it's a little chilly, and usually maybe during the lunch break or sometime in the evening where it's a little bit warmer, going for a walk and maybe walking your animal if you have a pet or if you have a dog, taking your dog for a walk, going somewhere, just walking away from the house and being able to kind of be with your thoughts and having that personal time, or maybe walking with your loved one and having discussions, or just taking your dog on a walk and just decompressing from the day or preparing for the day, because exercise is very, very helpful, and it helps decrease and reduce stress tremendously. Another thing is also Google and YouTube became the biggest friends. And a lot of people have smartphones, a lot of people have tablets, computers, access to Wi-Fi, internet. So use that wisely. Use YouTube or Google, those free services, to kind of Google and find some exercises to do with your family or to do by yourself, or maybe do some of the exercises that will help you decompress and discharge some of the stress, or maybe get some energy to prepare for the day. And so that is all available on the internet. I personally found YouTube and Google to be just fantastic ways of finding different ideas and Googling different ideas and searching for ideas. So those two tools were very, very helpful in finding ideas on how to decompress and how to reduce stress and find some of the exercises. Reading something interesting, and I love to read. For me, it's something that I believe in reading, but I know not everyone likes to read certain materials. But if you really enjoy reading, that is a way to kind of escape from stress and decompress and be able to really read something interesting and helpful to you. And there's so many different free books online that easily accessible, and you can find not only books but comic books and some of the interesting articles to read. And there's a lot of free materials online that could be used also to read and decompress from that stress. Watching a movie, that's another way to really help decrease stress, and of course with stress, anger and frustration. Comedy is humor and comedy are very helpful in managing that stress and managing that anger and decompressing, because as we laugh, we discharge that negative energy and we let it go, and we recharge with much more positive energy. And for kiddos, watching different cartoons, funny cartoons, and maybe decreasing the stress in that way. Reaching out to friends on the phone or video chat or Zoom or WebEx or other means of reaching out to your friends. Talking on the phone and really venting and discharging that energy and being able to share your experiences and laugh and make each other laugh and share some of the daily stories, or just talking to your friend or listening to your friend. It's definitely going to make a huge difference. Because right now our abilities to really meet in person is very, very limited. So phones and computers became the way of means to connect. So that is a very, very good way of reaching to people and reaching out and really sharing things with each other and really connecting with each other. Finding an online mental health therapist, because majority of therapists transition to work online and able to provide telehealth services. So now a lot of therapists able to see people, either provide services either over the phone or able to provide services via a Zoom and a WebEx and other video chat means or video telehealth means. So definitely reaching out and asking for help, and it's something that is available in the community. There's a lot of agencies that are able to provide help, and they're able to provide services, and don't be afraid to ask for help, because that can make a huge difference. And a lot of people now can actually do it from the comfort of their own homes, and they're able to schedule an appointment and see the therapist face to face, or be able to speak with the therapist on the phone and be able to get that mental health help and be able to learn some coping strategies to deal with everything that is happening around us. Motivation serves a huge role in discharging anger and coping with anger and coping with stress. Because there might be a temptation to stay in bed all day, or if you work from home, pick up your computer and stay in the bedroom, stay in your pajamas, stretchy pants and things like that. But it's really, really important to really get yourself motivated to get out of bed and keep that routine, keep and manage your time wisely and keep that routine every single day without breaking that, because motivation that will keep you going every single day. Get up in the morning as you would when you had to go to the office. Take a shower, get dressed, move around, get your steps in, and really remind yourself that this is not permanent. This is temporary. At some point of life, it will end, and we will be able to go back to working from our offices or being in our offices a lot more than we might be at the time right now, or be able to kind of resume what we have left back in February, March, when this pandemic started. So everything has beginning and everything has an end. So remind yourself every day, motivate yourself to get out of bed, motivate yourself with continuing doing your hair and makeup and taking shower and get dressed, and try to really stick with your routine, because that will help you and motivate you to get out of bed and go through your day and really maintain a certain level of stability for yourself and certain level of normalcy for yourself. And self-care. Self-care is extremely, extremely important, because in times like that, we really have to take care of ourselves. Because as I always like to say, you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you have no energy, if you have no desire to do anything, how can we help other people? How can we make impact for other people? So self-care is extremely, extremely important. And some of the things just to take care of yourself and keep busy are ways of managing your stress, anxiety, and also reducing your anger and frustration as well. One of the things is drinking plenty of water. Water is very, very important for just maintaining our health. If we don't drink water, then our skin become very, very dry, and we struggle with our skin, and our lips become very, very, very cracked and dry. So drinking plenty of water is very, very important every single day. Staying positive and motivating yourself and reminding yourself that this is not permanent. It's going to end at some point, and life is going to normalize and go back to normal at some point of life. So please keep reminding yourself and keep reminding your patients and clients that this is not something that is going to be here forever. Everything has beginning and everything has an end. So stay positive. Playing with your dog, cat, or other pets, because dogs and cats have an innate ability to help us decompress, discharge frustration, discharge anger, discharge stress, reduce that anxiety. Because by just playing with the animal, by playing with your dog, playing with your cat, taking them on a walk, it helps tremendously to really forget about some of the challenges that we're dealing with on a daily basis, and be able to really kind of focus on the animal, on the pet, and exchange that positive energy. Fixing things around the house, and that helps tremendously. Maybe if you were thinking of doing deep cleaning or doing other things or fixing things around the house, just to maybe that would be the time to keep yourself busy, to fix things around, to move things around, maybe move some furniture and rearranging things, cleaning your closet, cleaning your garage, and donating things, and really, really keeping yourself busy around the house and doing things that would really bring some happiness and help you discharge that negative energy. So organizing your closet, putting things aside for donations, that is another thing. Rearranging your furniture, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, cleaning your house, doing deep cleaning, or maybe just organizing things in a way that you wanted to organize it but never had time before. So it's something that would definitely keep you busy and keep your mind off some of the stressful moments and stressful situations. Trying new cooking recipes, that is something that is very, very good. And I think as we just passed Thanksgiving, I learned that kids and adolescents actually kind of like to get their hands dirty and cook and make different things and kind of experiment with different things in the kitchen. So trying new cooking recipes that you can find on the internet. There's so many different cool apps that you can find, and getting them to help and peel potatoes and carrots and make cakes and different stuff like that. So definitely trying new cooking recipes is another way to engage the entire family, or engage your kids, or engage your adolescents in, and kind of connect. While you're cooking, you can always talk, you can ask questions, you can joke around, you can try new things, and then you taste it. And if it tastes good, fantastic, you learn something new. And if it doesn't, you also learn something of how not to do certain things. So that is definitely something that is can help tremendously. Well, yes,
I'm
yes,
sorry for
Raul.
interrupting. I believe we do have a question
Yes, of
from
course,
Raquel Garcia Gonzalez. Let
of
me allow
course,
her to type.
absolutely. I cannot see the question because I'm sharing my screen, but if you able to, let me see.
Yes, I give her permission to talk. All you have to do, Ms. Raquel, is make sure that you turn on your mic, and then we'll be able to hear you.
I am so sorry. I raised my question by mistake.
Okay. No
I'm so
worries.
sorry.
No worries.
Thank you about that. Thank you.
It's okay.
Of course.
Thank you. Thank you, Raul. Thank you. Another thing that I wanted to mention, and I know I spoke about it a little bit earlier, but keeping a schedule, keeping that normalcy and keeping that schedule going, and being able to kind of remain consistent with your day-to-day routine, and managing your time in that matter. Keeping a schedule cannot only help reduce stress, but it also helps everyone get along a little bit better, because keeping a schedule helps you really put some boundaries in place where you can or cannot engage in certain conversations with your family members or other people around, and really setting, when you have a schedule, when you have to attend certain meetings, when you have to see certain people, when you have certain types of activities that you need to do, or certain things that you need to take care of, it really sets boundaries with other people, not only within your household, but with other individuals in your life as well, because it helps tremendously. He helps tremendously let everyone know that you will be available at a certain time. So during your work schedule, or during certain hours, you will not be available, and other people would understand that, and definitely setting those boundaries would help tremendously, especially with family members. If you're working from home, and kids coming in with different questions, or other family members need something from you, so really keeping that schedule will also help you set some boundaries and maintain those boundaries with the family members, to letting your family members know when you can be available to answer some of the questions, or to help them out, or to do some certain things with them. And the schedule definitely can include things like physical activity, family and social time, certain chores that you can do, and of course, some time alone. So as you have your schedule, you definitely have your work time, you definitely have your physical activity time for physical activity, definitely have include that family or social time, chores, taking care of certain things, washing dishes, cooking dinner, doing things like that, and of course some alone time where you can decompress, really take a deep breath, and think about what you need to do next, or think about what is that you might need to do tomorrow or any other time. So when you wake up and when you go to bed is another thing that probably should be included in your schedule, because it helps you when we go to the office and we know that we still have to maybe spend 30-40 minutes driving to the office. Is one thing. We would wake up early and we would prepare everything, but especially working from home, sometimes the temptation of, oh, I'm gonna wake up 10 minutes before my meeting, and join in and jump in and do things like that. So really making sure that you still include waking up in your schedule and make sure that you wake up as you would go to the office, because that would definitely help you, prepare, get ready, take a shower, take care of some of the things, or maybe have some alone time for yourself for a few minutes before you start your day, before you start the meeting, before you do certain things or take care of some of the activities. So some of the examples of activities, and I know I mentioned that already a few times, but some of the example of activities could be, physical activity, or examples of physical activity that can be done. Could be walking, hiking, cycling, jumping rope, watching free yoga videos. On YouTube, there's a lot of different videos that could be accessed, and it's a fantastic way of exercising and engaging with your family members, including your family members, or doing it on your own. And you can walk, you can go hiking, you can go jogging, you can do those kind of physical activities while still maintaining social distancing. Some of the examples of family and social time can include playing board games, if your family enjoy playing board games, playing cards, watching movies, using apps to connect with your friends, video conferencing like Zoom and WebEx and other platforms that could be used to connect with your friends. I know a lot of different platforms like Netflix and Hulu. They actually offer some free movies that families can watch. I know a lot of other platforms on TV also offer some free channels where families can engage, and they can definitely watch some movies together, and they can do different things like that together. And of course, listening to some concerts on YouTube and using Google and YouTube to find some of the fun activities that you can do with your family members. And some of the examples of chores that can be done while staying home can include basic and deep cleaning, laundry. I know laundry is, at least for me, it's not one of my favorite chores to do, but it needs to be done sometimes. Cooking, gardening, or planting trees or planting flowers, also including family members, including or recommending that to your clients and patients by planting flowers, planting trees, and doing some gardening and cooking different dishes, cleaning out closets, and separating items for donations. And alone time is really important. That self-care, that alone time will help you decompress and discharge that certain emotions and certain frustration and anger and stress, and reduce some anxiety to think about certain things. And some of the activities that you can do to really help yourself while you're spending time alone is taking a bubble bath or warm shower, which will give you, just letting the water run through your body, through your hair, just to really visualize as that water is taking all of the toxins and all of the stress and all of the frustration and all of the anxiety, and it's running down the drain. So really visualizing that and helping yourself visualize as everything coming down the drain, all of the anger, all of the anxiety, all of the negative feelings and negative emotions that you might have. Doing yoga, and yoga is a fantastic way of coping with stress and coping with anger, and it's really a great way of connecting with family members, or even doing it alone during your alone time. Journaling, Writing in a journal, for those individuals who really enjoy writing in a journal can definitely help get rid of some of that anger and put it on a paper to be able to go back to it and reread it and see what and how you can cope with that in a better way. Because sometimes when we put something on a paper, it definitely makes a different sense for us as we sometimes think about it as we go through our days. Reading, I know I mentioned that earlier. Reading is another thing that can be very, very helpful, and you can engage or you can do during your alone time. Coloring, either physical coloring some pages, or there's a lot of fantastic apps, color by number, and people can definitely color and can definitely color by the number, and it's a fun activity. I tried it, and I highly recommend it for a lot of kiddos who love coloring. That is something that could be also done, and it's a lot of those apps are free, could be downloaded to the phone, could be downloaded to the computer, tablet, and children and adolescents can definitely color and be able to decrease that some of the stress and some of the anger and some of those negative emotions. Baking, that's another way of really kind of decompressing and being able to create something new, something that you can eat and something that you can share with family members or even your friends. Going outside to meditate. I know right now it's a little chilly to be outside, but when it gets a little warmer during the day, if you have some time to just really go outside and to meditate, and there's a lot of very, very cool free apps that would help with meditation. And definitely in the end of the presentation, if anyone is interested, I can give you some of the names of those apps, and I use it almost every day, and it's very, very helpful just to decompress, just to release that energy. And a lot of those apps are free of charge. Listening to music, that's another way to really decompress. Either you're driving somewhere, or either you just putting your headphones in, or just listening to music out loud, singing and maybe dancing a little bit. And usually music is a very, very good way to discharge some negative emotions and really get in a positive mood and have cool energy, or gain some good positive energy. Watching your favorite TV shows, if you have some favorite TV shows, that is always helps with escaping from some of the negative emotions, and helps decompress also from the day and some of the build up anger and frustration. Taking time to remind yourself things that you're grateful for, and that is very, very important, because in the times we live in, it's very important to remind ourselves what we have and to be grateful for people that we have in our lives, and animals that we have, and some of the colleagues that we have, and some of the things that we also have in our lives, and just to be grateful for that, and just have the gratitude and be able to really remember that you're not alone, that there's people who definitely care for you, there's help, and there's things that can definitely help in life. So please remind yourself, and remind yourself every day, and just have be grateful for certain things and that you have in life. Some of the helpful tips that I also wanted to mention is trying to reduce exposure to media and social media is definitely very, very helpful, because for a lot of us who have social media, as we go on social media, we see a lot of things that is connected to COVID-19 and symptoms and treatments and numbers and statistics and stuff like that. So it is very, very important to limit that access and that exposure to media and social media. Maybe limited it to once a day, twice a day, but really that should be very, very helpful with the exposure and absorbing some of the negative things that we read or see on the internet and social media. And it is very, very essential to establish boundaries and have clear and honest communication with other people, because COVID-19 impacted everyone and it caused a lot of stress and make a lot of people feel overwhelmed. So setting those boundaries, communicating with other people and letting people know that your limits and certain things that you can or cannot do, it's another way of really being able to discharge that build up energy and discharge that anger. So definitely setting boundaries would help avoid some arguments and avoid some frustration as well. And the last thing that I wanted to mention is, please do not be afraid to ask for help. Help is available. And there's a lot of help in our community and other communities in Texas and United States and other states. And there's a lot of agencies and there's a lot of people who are ready to help. And there's, I put a crisis line, national crisis line in here, the phone number, and also our local crisis line that we have through Emergency Health Network. So definitely don't be afraid to reach out for help, because it's okay in moments like that to feel overwhelmed, and we all have experienced that. So please don't hesitate to ask for help. Reach out. If you feel in crisis or if you need to speak with someone, definitely the national crisis line and a local crisis line, they have trained counselors that would be able to answer your questions and assist you in any way they can, so they can guide you in a positive way and get you help that you need. And of course, we have the information on CDC, cdc.gov about coronavirus and some of the coping strategies there as well. And that is it on my end. I am going to pass the mic to Dr. Martin. She will be explaining the CPAN program. But before I disconnect, I just want to thank everybody for being here. I just want to thank everybody for joining us today and for asking questions and for listening. And I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Dr. Martin.
Thanks so much, Hannah. We really appreciate it. Thanks for the talk.
Of course.
Okay, so for those of you in the audience, especially if you are a primary care provider, although a lot of other people might want to know about this program because everybody has their own primary care provider they might want to talk to about this program, we want to tell you about CPAN. Texas CPAN is a statewide program, and our university, Texas Tech Department of Psychiatry, is managing. We have responsibility for the area from El Paso all the way east to just before Odessa, and then all the way south to Eagle Pass. So it's a big area. You can see the counties there on the map. And we are basically a curbside consultation. This is a peer-to-peer consultation. You can call us up anytime between the hours of 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. because we are on the same time schedule as the rest of Texas, and ask us questions and ask for advice. Ask for, it can be a general question or it can be a question about a specific patient. And so the idea is that you all as primary care providers can keep the patient in your clinic and get them treatment as early as possible with someone that they're already comfortable with. Because of course, we all know we've sent referrals after referrals and a lot of people don't follow up on them. And if it's a mental health referral, a lot of times it does have to do with stigma, as well as all the other things that get in the way of seeing one more different doctor. So we're hoping that the patients will find it more convenient if they stay in your clinic and they know you and trust you already. And so we're hoping that they'll take your recommendations. So all you have to do to sign up, and of course we also do educational stuff like we're doing today, and we take special requests. So if you or your clinic have a special request and want to have us present on a certain topic, either a psychiatrist or a therapist, then let us know and we will definitely set that up. All you have to do to sign up for this program is to call us. If we do have to get permission from whoever is the owner of the business that you work for, or let's say like for Texas Tech, it's the department chair, to approve that you can share patient information with us. But we really want to help you maintain the mental health of all of your youngest patients. So hopefully you can give us a call. I am Sarah Martin. I'm a psychiatrist. I'm a child psychiatrist, and myself, and then I see Dr. Cecilia DeVargas is also in the audience, and she is the other psychiatrist that is the one actually answering the phone and helping you with your consultations. We also will give you referrals for your patients if we think that they need a certain type of therapy, and we try to give them a referral that the provider will take their insurance and then also is convenient to where they live.